Hello! I started this live to actually play this game here. It's one of my pocket mods and I haven't played yet, but what attracts me to this game is the fact that it says it's playable in 15 to 20 minutes. We're probably going to take a little bit more than that because, as I said, I haven't played it. I don't really remember everything from it because I read it a long time ago. And what I have here is just the core rulebook. And there are a bunch of adventures that we can choose from for this specific game. And I'm probably going to understand how it works. And then we can choose an adventure and play with it. So I'm doing this because it's been a while since I have played something at all, and I wanted to get back into playing. This seems like a good one to start. Okay, so how does my gaming, how do my sessions work? First, we're going to understand how this game works. So I'm going to go through the rulebook here and make my hero. That's why I have my trusty reusable notepad here. I always bring my dice with me, of course, because we need to roll for the game. And I have a lot of other dice off camera as well, but yeah. And I will be rolling on my tray here and we'll see how it goes. And I always bring my iPad as well because I take my notes digitally. And I will be doing that off camera a little bit because of the lighting, so that doesn't get too distracting. So let's go. So Dungeon Hero, supposed to be a quick solo TTRPG. Let's see how it works. It says, okay, so we're going to need a variety of dice. I already can see it here. And it says that we have to choose a name and set their resolve to 30 and their stamina to 15. And then we have traits that we can distribute among those dice here. One thing that we don't have in this pocket mod is the character sheet or a version of it, but on the adventures, if I can get one of them here, this is one example of adventures. There are a bunch of them. In adventures, we do have what the character sheet is supposed to look like. So we have here the resolve and the stamina, which we already have the numbers for in here. And the traits are in here. And it says that we can choose 8 traits for our character. And apparently we can choose anything. So maybe like specific. I'm going to have to go to other games I've played because it doesn't give any examples of what could be traits for this hero. And it might be a good thing because then you can use your creativity to define what do you want your character to have. It says that the traits can be something definitive about the character, like race, culture, capabilities, equipment. So yeah, we have something in here. So I'm not sure if I want to play like a fighter or a magic user. I always play magic users, but I don't know what the magic looks like in here. So let's keep looking on the rules and then we can decide about it. How to play. Each adventure is a list of situational traits, also measured as dice, describing the environment. You start with one and you roll a d6 advanced roll to get your second. After each advanced roll, imagine a perilous situation caused by the new environment. Trait you just gained, but modified by lingering effects of the previous trait, if sensible, and how you respond to that situation with two of your own traits. For instance, if you're climbing down a hole, athletic and rope are good choices. Then roll four dice as a challenge roll. If one of yours is highest, then outcome favors you. If either of the environment traits is marked with a gemstone or a treasure. If it's not one of yours, the outcome harms you. Reduce your resolve by the difference of the environment highest die and your highest die. Okay, let me try to understand how this one works. So I start with one situational trait for the environment. Okay, so we don't have environments in this book. We have to go into one of the adventures. There are a lot of them. I got this one today. And it says that each one has a list of situational traits, which I'm guessing is this one. Yeah, here. I start with one of them and I roll a d6 to advance. Okay, so this one says that we start with a d6 Castle Gate trait. We have like a little bit of the plot of the adventure, like rumors and stuff. And okay. So okay, rumors tell of robbed cultists filling into the ruined castle of King Charon, the despot who employed foul magics to oppress his people long ago. Now a demon has attacked the Hierophant, and it is clear infernal dealings are afoot. You have come to the ruins, hope to investigate whether the rumors are true, and if so, to put a stop to the cultists before even worse demons are unleashed upon the world. Okay, so this is the Castle Charon. I didn't read this one, but it says robbed cultists have been seen filling into the ruins of King Charon's castle. Chanting has been heard and demons have been sighted. Can you set things right? Okay, so basically the rumor says that we have these cultists in the castle and now a demon has attacked the hierophant of the castle, I think. And these demons' infernal dealings are causing trouble. You have come to the ruins hoping to investigate whether the rumors are true, and if so, to put a stop to the cultists before even worse demons are unleashed upon the world. Okay, so they are summoning demons, and our job is going to be to find out if that's actually true, and if it is true, we have to deal with them. And I'm just trying to understand, how do I get the first trait? Do I roll a d6? I think so. It says start with a d6 Castle Gate trait, but there are like 10 options here, so that's what confusing me right now. And then we have like another, oh no, wait, we have like 80 traits for this, 86 actually traits for this adventure. But how do I get the first one? Okay, so it says no, but this one is just explain me how to deal with the trait that I get. How do I get a trait? I just roll a d6? But then how do I go to the other parts? This seems more like a d10 for me. Okay, I'm confused. Okay, let's go back to the rule book and see what if it gives us something else to work off of. Okay, so here it's just explaining how to solve one of the traits when we get it. How do we get it? Okay, plot points are these like little like lock things that we have throughout the adventure, which I'm assuming are like scenes or parts of the adventure. So it says that sometimes you reach plot points in the table marked with a lock icon. When you make an advance roll, it would go past one, you stop on it instead. You do not need to do a challenge roll on a plot point unless it lists a die. Huh. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so what I'm understanding here is that this list on like all the pages of the adventure, these are the environment traits, and each one of them has like a die associated with them. It says that we start with a D6 Castlegate trait, and for this adventure in specific. And in here, it also says we... Okay, so each adventure is a list of situational traits, also measured as dice. Okay, so it said here, describe the environment. These describe how the environment is. Okay, so for example, lightning storm. So we have like a storm going on the moment. But how do I get one of these? Do I have to roll? It says a D6 Castlegate trait, but I'm confused. You start with one and you roll a D6 advance roll to get your second. Castlegate trait. Okay. After each advance roll, imagine a perilous situation caused by the new environment trait you gained. Okay, so I'm not understanding how to get my first one yet, but I understand how it works. So I'm going to have one trait to start with. Let's pretend it's lightning storm. So it's like we are in a storm, and then I roll a die. It says roll 1d6 advanced roll. I roll it, and then I get the next one. Let's say it is a stone guardian. So a stone guardian appears, and apparently I'm going to have to fight it. And I just adapt this new trait to the situation I'm in. So it's like raining, a full storm, lightning storm going on, and this guy appears. So I just incorporate it to the story. But how do I get my first one? That's what I'm not understanding here. Do I just roll a d6? Do I get the first one? I start one with a d6 castle gate. So I could just have this d6 to roll my advance. So what it would be like, it became a 1 here. So I go into the lightning storm, we play that out, and I roll again because we have like a d6 here. I got a 6. So would it be this number 6 here, or do I have to add 6 to the number 1 that I already had, which gives me a 7, and I find this sentry beast thing? That's what's bugging me right now. And then it says that the sentry beast is a d8. So now to advance, do I roll a d8 and then keep adding things to them? That seems like it, because look, we have a plot point here as it's explained in this part of the core rulebook. We have like the lock icon. So I am in this situation right now. I know there are cultists summoning demons, and one of these demons have attacked the Hierophant, and I'm here to like get rid of it or investigate if it's true or not. So I have these possibilities, and within my roles I can like keep doing the things that are here. If by some chance I get a number that gives me like a total that comes here, then I go to another plot point, and it says that I don't need to do a challenge roll on a plot point unless it lists a die. It's not listing a die here. I'm going to check just to try to understand better the other adventures that are available. But I think that's it. I think I cracked the codes, or part of it, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, some of them list like a die roll to do something. Yeah, so roll this, you have that many Vikings you can use to fight enemies. Okay. I think I understand now, at least the core of it. So what's going to go on here now? So we're going to make up our hero, and we get to that in a moment. And then to play, we have an initial trait with it doesn't say if I have to roll for it. I am assuming that I have to roll. I start with a d6, so I roll it. I got a 2 here, so we would start with a worm-eaten drawbridge. So this is the start of my adventure here for this example. And then from here on, I keep rolling the die that it says here, because I'm assuming this is the advanced die to this situation. Okay, so well, it says that I start with 1d6 advance roll to get 1, and you roll it. Okay, so I think this is my initial trait, the castle gate. I am in front of the castle gate, and then I can roll 1d6 to get my next one. And from then on, I have like the new advanced die that is related to that situation that I'm in. Once I roll that, I just add to the number I'm currently in. So in this example, I started the castle gate. I can role play whatever happens to my character in the castle gate, if he finds something or not, how things are going. And then I roll my advanced die, which it's a d6 to start with. I got a 2, which gives me this worm-eaten drawbridge. And then I role play that as well. I don't have anything associated with it. Well, I don't have any icon associated with it. So I just play out the scene, the setting, the situation. Once I'm satisfied with it and I want to move forward, I roll my advanced die again, which I am assuming now it's this new die here, which is a d4. So in this example, I would roll a d4. I got a number 2 here. So I would then add the number here. So number 2, 1, 2, I go to 4 here with the Stone Guardian. I have a combat here, which I'm going to the rule book to understand how to fight them in a bit. Then I role play that as well, and I move forward knowing that now I have another d6 to advance. So I roll it, I got a 3, and since I'm here, I go 1, 2, 3, Sentry Beast. So I have another fight to go off. I do that, role play, combat, and then I roll, oh, this is a d8 now. So I roll my d8 and I get a 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and then I change my plot point to something else. So I would read here, understand what's the situation now, and then play off of the of the new situation trait. That's what it looks like it's happening in this game. Okay, but before we continue and play, let's keep going into the rules, because we understand the plot points, we understand how to play. Let's understand how the enemies work, which is basically if I get like a combat here or something like that. It says enemies are marked with these little sword icons and have a number of threat next to them, which is this number here, 863 for this one. If you encounter one, you have to defeat it before you can do another advanced roll. Roll challenge rolls as normal. Okay, so challenge rolls, I think it explained to us here. No, this is advanced roll. When you roll higher than your enemy, remove threat equal to your high roll minus its high roll. Keep rolling until you have succeeds. Until you have reduced the enemy's threat to 0 or less. Then the dungeon trait is removed. It no longer applies and you keep the trait before it on your next advanced roll. You get a treasure for each enemy you defeat. Okay, so I think I interpreted something wrong. What's on my mind right now after reading this one is that these die here are actually these threads. These what? The challenge die. So I have to roll the challenge die, compare with mine, and then see if I succeed on that. And that's my role play. Okay, I should have read this part before interpreting that one, the first one. So what I'm thinking now that I read that is that my advanced dice is always the d6. So I always roll a d6 to advance. And this one are my challenge die. So when I'm role playing each one of these situations, I have a challenge based on this die. And I have to roll. How do I roll this challenge? Climbing down. Okay, so my traits here is what we are going to use for the challenge roll. Again, my understanding of this is I have my d6 to advance if I solve the situation here, and each situation has a die associated with it. This is the challenge die, and to solve this challenge, I can use, it says here, 2 of my traits. Yes, 2 of your own traits. So if one of your highest, if one of yours is highest, so I roll this die. So for example, in this one, I would roll a d6. I get a number, and let's say I have a trait that is going to help me solve the situation. I can choose 2 traits. I roll those 2 dice, and if one of mine is higher than the situation challenge die rolled, I win, basically. If one of yours is highest, the outcome favors you. Okay, so in the role play, the outcome favors me. So if the lightning storm is coming down, I can assume like I have to find shelter or something so that I don't get all wet and stuff. And I do my challenge roll based on one of the traits I chose for my hero. If I win, it means that I found some type of shelter or something to get away from the storm. If I fail, the outcome harms you. So I might, for example, in the lightning storm, I might be struck by a lightning bolt or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. And then if something harms me, I have to reduce my resolve by the difference of the environment's highest dice and my highest dice. So let's say I rolled like a d8 and I got a 5 and I lost the contest for the challenge here. The difference between 6 and 5 is 1, so I get 1 harm into my resolve here. Oops. Okay, let's go back. And if there's a tie, remove all dice that didn't match the highest roll, re-roll and compare again. Okay. Before applying the effects of a roll, you may spend points of stamina to re-roll one of your dice for each point spent. So before applying the effect of a roll, I can use my stamina to re-roll one of the dice for each point spent. Okay, so if I spend 1 stamina point, I can re-roll 1 dice. And if I spend 2 stamina points, I can re-roll my 2 dice that I chose. And that gives me a chance of solving the situation. But then I start losing stamina points. Okay, interesting. Be honest, don't just use a d12 and a d10 for every situation. Yeah, because we have other traits in here, other dice numbers. Okay, that's obvious. If you cheat in a solo game, you're just cheating yourself. So why would you do that? If you can think of a reason a trait would apply, use a d4. Okay, so we have our traits here and they go up to d6. We don't have a d4, but if you don't have like anything that would apply in a situation, it lets you use a d4 as like a general challenge skill or whatever. And yeah, that's an interesting way of solving that. Afterwards, make another d6 advance roll, removing the oldest environment trait as needed, so that you always have to... What? Okay, so when I finish that situation, I roll my advanced die again and remove the oldest environment trait as needed, so that you always have to... Oh yeah, okay, I understand, because it says that when we advance, we have to like incorporate the new environmental trait into the previous one, And in this one, it says that I keep moving. When I go, for example, to my third environmental trait, I have to get rid of the first, because I always have two working together. So the first one will not be necessary once I have the third one. Okay, I kind of get it. We've gone through plot points and the enemies as well. We understand how the challenge die works. Winning the game. You win the game when you advance roll takes you off the end of the table. Count up your treasures to see your score. You lose if you run out of resolve before you win. Okay, so the resolve part that we talked before, if we get to 0 or possibly less, we lose the game. And we win if we keep going here and we go off the 86. So basically we run out of situations to do, and that's our win. Okay. Oh, there's an example of play. I should have started here. See how useful it is to read things through. Okay, so Argus makes the following character. Okay, so we have a character here. He has Archer of the Realm. So he has a bow and he's a good archer. Cautious, ancestral bow, stealthy, chainmail, studied with the scholars, rope, lockpicks. Oh, that's fun. He selects an adventure where he goes into a graveyard. The adventure starts with a trait of rusty gates. Okay. He rolls a d6 for his advanced roll and gets a 4. So he goes down to the 4th entry in the list and sees Moonlit Graveyard. He imagines a dangerous situation involving the rusty cemetery gates and a moonlit graveyard. The gates are locked and I have to climb over the wall into the graveyard in the darkness. Okay. He looks at his traits and selects one that would apply. He selects cautious, good, and rope. Okay, interesting. And the most likely the dungeon has rust gates d4 and moonlit graveyard d8. So he rolls all 4 dice. Oh, okay. So yeah, so we don't just roll the 1 die from the current challenge. We roll this one and the previous one together. Okay, that actually makes more sense because I'm rolling 2 traits and then the situation is also rolling 2 traits. That makes things balanced. Great. He rolls a 3 and a 2 for his 2 dice, and the dungeon rolls a 1 and an 8. Since the dungeon has the highest dice, an 8, it wins the challenge roll. Argo's highest die is a 3, so he subtracts that from 8 to get 5, the amount he will reduce his resolve. He doesn't like that outcome, so he spends a point of stamina to reroll that 8. This time it rolls a 2. Now Argo has the highest die, a 3, so he has successfully avoided damage. Oh, okay, so I can reroll with my stamina points. I don't just reroll my dice, I can reroll the situation die as well. So I just have to choose which one. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't catch that in the beginning. Since his cautious die was highest, he imagines that he has climbing the wall and he was climbing the wall and almost fell, but his caution saved him from a nasty fall. His next advance roll is a 3, so he moves down the list 3 spaces to 7, which is D8. Oh, okay. So yeah, I was correct. So we roll the first die, get one number, and then the other ones we just add up to move forward in the list. He encounters a zombie. Argo discards the oldest dungeon trait, Rusty Gates. Okay, so he discards the first one, so adds the new one, the zombie. He decides his Archer of the Realm and his Ancestral Bow are the best traits to apply. He is a strong fighter with his bow. For his challenge roll, he rolls a 7 and a 3 for his traits. And the zombie rolls a 7 for Moonlit Graveyard and a 2 for Zombie. There is a tie for the highest, so Argo discards the dice and didn't match his bow and zombie and rolls again. Okay, so he rolls 7 and 3 and the zombie rolls 7 and 2. There's a tie, and so Argo discards the dice that didn't match and rolls again. Oh, okay. A 6 and there's a... Okay, so if there's a tie, we just get the 2 die that are tied together and we re-roll those 2. The other ones are ignored and then we see who wins. He won in this case and he reduced the threat of the zombie by 2. Oh, by 4 points actually, because it's the difference. Okay, the zombie still has a threat of 2. You can see the little swords in here. So the combat continues and then we keep playing. Oh, nice. I should really have read this part first. I didn't remember there was an example here and I didn't pay attention when I was just flipping through in the beginning. But okay, yeah, it's quite simple. I can see why it can be like a 15 to 20 minutes play. I feel like the way I play, I would probably get a little bit more than that because I just like to add some flair to the role play sometimes. But yeah, it seems like a pretty quick game. Okay, so on to playing, I have the following adventures. I have Castle Sharon. I have the Pyramid of Samarkand, the Terror of Talonburg, Web of the Queen Spider, which I like the name, Full Moon Frenzy, The Lost Island, the Tower of the Terrapin. Which one should I play? I like the tower one. I'm going by name here, okay? So I like the tower one, the castle one, and the spider one. If someone is watching and want to comment on it, which one would you prefer? Castle, Web of the Spider Queen, or Tower of Terrapin? I could roll for that, right? Maybe I roll a d6. So this is the queen, the spider queen is going to be 1, 2, the tower 3, 4, and the castle 5, 6. And there is my d6. Oh, I got a 6. Oh, so the castle, which was like my first choice. Let me put the other ones back there. Okay, so we are going to play the Castle of Sharon, which was actually the example we were looking at just now. Let's make up our hero. Again, on the core rule book, I don't have a character sheet, but I always have a character sheet on the adventures. I don't want to write in this one because I can replay this one many times with different heroes if I feel like it. So I'm going to do it on my notepad. And since it's a pocket mod, usually the character sheet is super simple, so there's not a big deal to do it here. Okay, so we already know that we have like cultists and demons in here in this one. So I think I'm going to create a character that can help me deal with this one better. I think a fighter with a like religious background, maybe like a cleric or something like that. Okay, let me just reproduce here the character sheet. Why is my pen not working? Okay, so we're going to have a name for it, and it also has space to draw a little picture. That's funny. We have resolve. We have stamina. And we have treasure that we're going to collect along the way. And we can draw a little guy here, or a little girl. And then we have our traits: a D12, D10, D10, D8, D8, D6, D6, D6. Okay, so 3D6, 2D8, 2D10, and a D12. Okay, for name, I don't really like creating names out of the fly. Sometimes I am not really good at it. I do have a table here in one of my Pocket mods for a random name generator. It uses a D10, so I'm going to get my 2 D10s here. And I'm going to roll 2 D10 for the name and 2 D10 for the surname. Although I don't think we need a surname for this game, but I think it's a nice touch to add to a game. Okay, I'm always going to consider this one as the first and this one as the second. So I have 3 and 0, which is 10, right? 3 and 10. So I have Alvin. Oh, that's fun. Alvin is a good name. So our hero is Alvin. And I do want a surname for him. So I have 2 and 10 again. I have Skyflame. Skyflame. That's actually a good name for a cleric with the sky thing here. Skyflame. And I'm going to say he's a cleric. And the game says that we have to put 30 on resolve and 15 on stamina. So let's put 30 and 15. Treasure, we don't have any yet. And we have to choose our traits. What traits can we put in this hero? I mean, I want to give him a sword. So I think I'm going to do that. Oh, sorry, I just lost a piece of paper. Got it. So one of them is going to be a sword. I'm going to decide on the traits first, and then I distribute them on what I think are the correct dice for every situation. Okay, so I want him to get a sword, so I'm just going to put here. I have the from here to here. Okay, so I have these of traits. So I want to give him a sword. want to give him something about holy powers or something like that. I'm going to call it Holy Link. So he has like a, let's say, a holy symbol that he connects with his deity, and that grants him some kind of power for banishing or something like that. What else? I'm going to call these swords the ancestral swords. Just to give it a little bit of flair. I'm going to give him a chain mail armor for defense. I'm going to give it, what else? What could be good traits for a cleric soldier type of? I don't know. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more traits to give him. I was thinking about stealth, but I'm not going to give him stealth if he's like a big, in my mind, he's like a big warrior soldier type of guy that wears an armor, a chainmail, which I'm actually going to call armor, not chainmail. I was just getting examples from the example, but I think armor sounds better. I'm going to say he is an elf. Do I see him as an elf? Do I see Alvin as an elf? I think so. He's an elf. So this trait for me, I'm thinking right now, is going to give me like the possibility of making him have some specific characteristics, like he can see in the dark, he has like elf traits. He can see in the dark, he is a little bit like resistant or immune to some types of charm, things like that. I'm getting like traits from the elf race that I saw in other games. So that's what I'm thinking about when I put that he's an elf in here. I gave him a holy symbol. What else? I'm going to give him let me see. We need 4 more things. Dexterity, so he's like super dexterous, fast on attacking, and evading things. What else? I gave him the ancestral swords, a holy symbol. Oh, I could give him something for cure, since he's a cleric, like something to... I'm going to call cure wounds. So what I'm thinking about this, because it doesn't talk about in the game about like spells and things like that. So what I'm thinking with these cure wounds is if I'm in a combat situation with a super strong monster or any monster at all, and I see an attack coming and I'm going to roll for that using the dice challenge, I see cure wounds as a way of like getting rid of the attack. So in role playing, because this is a different system that I'm used to, but in role play it would be like if my cure wounds die wins the challenge, I could say that I was attacked, but I managed to, with a cure wound spell, get back without any harm, you know? So I did win, but in the role play, I would say that he got harmed, he got hurt, but he could manage that, so he didn't really get hurt. It's just a way of adding a little bit of interest for this character in specific. I'm going to call him a War Master. And I'm just guessing here because I read like a few of the situations, so I'm not sure if these traits are actually going to be that great, but I'm just picking them up off of my head. So I'm going to call him a War Master because I want him to be like strategic on combat, on fights. So that would give him like a good advantage, I think. And we need one more. I think I should give him an equipment now. What about... I think I'm going to give him a rope, like the example. Maybe the rope is useful. Okay, so I have all of these. Now we have to decide the order of this in the dice here. I think I want to put War Master and Sword right up top. So I'm going to do that. War Master, Ancestral Sword. Okay, so I put this one and this one. I have a holy symbol and cure wounds. I'm going to put my holy symbol here. Cure wounds. The cure wounds could also be helpful in a situation where he finds that he have to save someone from something. So yeah, that might work. So I get this one and the cure wounds. We have an armor that I'm going to put at D8 for defense. Then we have rope, dexterity, and elf, which are all the 6, so it doesn't matter the order I put here. So rope, dexterity, and elf. And I could draw a little guy here with a like armor on. Let me put a helmet. Oh my god, this was really bad. Okay. He has a rolly symbol that I'm going to draw like an ankh from Egyptian spirituality. In full armor, so I'm going to put some plates in here. Big breastplate. I think I'm going to give him a little hair. Oh, he's so cute. And on his belt, he has like a long sword. And his rope is in here. And let me put here like the protection for his lower parts. Okay, he looks cute. Okay, so there we have it. This is our character sheet, and the name is a little bit okay, fixed. Okay, so this is our hero for this game. Let's play a little bit. I'm not sure if I want to finish this game here, but let's try. I wish that it wasn't so dark in here, but yeah, okay, let's roll with this. I'm getting my dice down here. Okay, what else can I prepare here before I start playing? I have my notes on my iPad, so I'm going to turn it on. Okay, new document. And the reason I like using my iPad for this is because this app, Nibo, is great for converting handwriting to text, so I can save my notes later on my note-taking app. Okay, let's go. I'm going to keep the rule book right to the side here, so if I need some clarification or I don't remember something, I can go there. Let me see. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think let's just play. And I take my notes later. Okay, so Alvin is the hero that was called into the castle Charon to investigate these robed cultists that might have been there summoning some type of demons, and things have been happening. Our first situation here is Alvin gets to the castle gates, and what could happen in the castle gates? He gets to the castle gates, and we know there are these rumors around, so I'm going to say that he is investigating the area. Yeah, let's say that he's investigating the area. So, but I only have, oh, okay, yeah. I have the gate here and I need to get one more. Remember, we need two situation dice to compare to two of our traits here. So I already have a D6 for the dungeon. And let's roll a D6 for the next one. It's a 5. So we get the Twilight Hall. So I'm going to need 2d6 for this one because I have 1d6 of the Castle Gate and 1d6 of the Twilight Hall. So I'm going to say that he enters the castle, the doors open for him since he's here to investigate all of those things. And he goes from the door, he automatically sees this Twilight Hall, and we can see a gem here, which is a treasure. And treasure, how do I mark the amount of treasure? It doesn't say if I get, I think I only get like, I can mark like the gems. Wait, okay. It only says that my treasure has to be marked here. So I'm going to mark the amount of gems that I get. And that's going to be like our treasure because it doesn't give us like anything to... Oh, but before I mark that amount of gems, I think I would roll like contest here. So we have the D6 and it's a D4 for the Twilight Hall. So these two, and for I'm going to do this contest for if he gets that gem, if he collects that gem or if something else happens. So for it, what are the traits we can use? I think dexterity would be a good one, like how fast he can get that thing without anybody noticing it, possibly. And elf, I think it's the one I'm going to use for this one, just because I think he would be interested in treasure, right? Or I could use War Master as if he wants to get the reward, but I feel like it would be forcing a little bit to use the D12 here just because of it. So I'm going to use 2d6 for him and a d6 and a d4 for the situation. So I'm going to roll it all together in my little tray here so it doesn't falls off the camera too much. Okay, so he got 5 and 2 for the situation and 1 and 1 for himself. So he didn't get the gem because he clearly didn't pass it, and I'm not going to waste my stamina points on it. Oh, but I do lose resolve, don't I? That's bad. That's not nice. Let me see. Let's just make sure. The outcome harms you. So we can say in this case there was a trap associated with that gem that he tried to get. And I changed the resolve. I got a 5 as the highest for the situation and a 1 as the highest for himself. So he would get -4 to his resolve. Do I want to do that, or do I want to re-roll his roll? But if I reroll, there is a chance that I'm still going to lose. And he's still going to get harmed. I can reroll the situation die as well. If I lose 1 stamina point. Which I think I'm going to do. I don't want him to get harmed. So I'm going to reduce my stamina point by 1 to 14. And I want him to reroll that 5 here. So let's do this. Oops, off camera. It's a 3. It still wins. It does still wins, but I reduce the amount of damage I get into my resolve. So 3 to get to 5, we have to lose 2 in our resolve. So from 30, we go into 28. So 28 resolve and 14 stamina. This is a little bit better. Not a lot better, but a little bit better. And since he failed, I'm going to say that he didn't get the gem. So my treasure is still empty. So he was in this twilight hall. He fell into a trap that I'm going to say it was a like dark energy trap that sent a black energy bolt into him that caused that damage that we took. And that's when he notices that there's something wrong with this place. There's something evil there, because that dark energy that affected him, it doesn't come from a regular trap. It's associated with the evil. And he knows that because of his background as a holy man. Okay, great. Now we can advance. Remember, we are here in the Twilight Hall and we can roll a d6 for advance. It's a 6, so we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get to a pit trap. So let's say he keeps walking down the corridor, the hall, and nothing seems apparent, but there is a trap there. Let's see if he notices the trap or not. Oh, actually, he has dexterity, right? So I'm going to say that for this trap, I'm going to use his dexterity to escape from the trap. And I am going to use his holy symbol as a connection with his deity to tell him that he's in danger or something like that. So it's basically escaping that trap and not getting caught up in that. So that's what I'm going to use here. And which means that I have like the Twilight Hall, it's a d4, so we still have a d4 for the situation. And we have a d6 for the pit trap. And for his ones, I got dexterity with a d6. I have my d6 here. And he got a d10 for the holy symbol. So we roll these 4 all at once. Oops, 1 rolled out, so I'm going to roll it in again. Okay, so I got a 2 and a 4 for the situation, and a 10 and a 5 for him. So, and a 10 comes from the holy symbol. So I'm going to say that he got some type of divine intervention, and he sensed something was wrong. The energy was out of place, and he decided to check for things, and he found out a mechanism on the rocks that make up the floor that activated this pit, and he managed to not activate it. He just walked around and didn't fall into that trap. Great. So what does happen when he succeeds something. Does something happen? If either the environment treats Max with a gemstone and or treasure, if one of your highest, the outcome favors you. So yeah, we talk about that. He managed to get rid of those things. Yeah, so he doesn't get like anything special, but he didn't fall into the trap. And I wish I was writing notes about it, but I am recording so I can write my notes later because I don't want to like stop for a lot of time here writing while you guys watch. Okay, so we are now in the pit trap, which is the D6 one that we already had. So let's advance to the next one, and obviously we are going to a next plot point. And I got a 4 here. 4. For this one, 10, it's going to 14. So unsure footing. So hearing someone getting close, probably. Okay, let's see the plot point before we move forward. You enter the castle ruins. Rubble and corruption are everywhere, but you do see that well-trod paths crisscross the muddy ground. Many people have passed through these halls recently. Rumors told of them filing into the undertunnels to do their ceremonies. You need to search the castle ruins for signs of where the entrance to the catacombs may lie. Okay, so he passed through this like entrance hall, let's say. We've gone to what he faced there, and now he heard unsure footing. So we have a D6 for the pit trap, and we're going to have another D6 for the unsure footing, which I'm interpreting. You can interpret that it's about him and he's like walking unsure of what's going on, or that he hears something. The first thing that came to my mind is that he hears some footing and is going forward. I could also say that he's walking unsure of what's going on because of the trap he just faced, but I feel like hearing something can open other possibilities for this game, so I'm going over that. And on that note, what can I use to face these two situations, like the D6 from the pit trap and the unsure footing that he's hearing? But it says unsure footing. The unsure is what's tripping me to say that he is unsure of where he's walking. No, I'm going with my first instinct. That is, he's hearing something. I think that's going to fit better for you. So I'm going to say that he's going to use his elf perception, which is a D6. So I'm going to use elf. And I'm going to use the holy symbol again, just because I'm going to say that he holds his holy symbol for some guidance on what to do and to move forward. And also because nothing else that I put here actually fits in the situation. Okay, so I roll these 4 and see the outcome. Here's my little tray. Oops, lost one. Here is it. So he got a 9, little dot in here to say it's a 9, and a 2, and the situation got a 2 and a 4. So the highest ones are these, and he won. So he hears some footing. I'm going to say he hears some footing and clutching his whole symbol, because it's the die from their whole symbol that gave him the win. Clutching his whole symbol, he has the sense that this person, whoever it is coming close. And I want to add a little bit of flair in here in this role-playing game. So I'm going to use my oracle. I have one oracle here to decide if he hears one or more people. And for that, I use a d20. And I got an 11. And 11 in my oracle here is yes, but. Yes, but. So I'm going to say yes, but the whatever it is, this footing that he's hearing, this person that is approaching, it's not coming really close to him. It's coming close to the place he's in, but it's passing like on the other hall, like behind him or behind the hall he's in, or parallel to it, or something like that. So he's safe. He was not seen and he heard it. And I feel like a good course of action now is him following that person or that footstep. So okay, let's roll for advance our situation. We are here in day 14 and we go into 15, an arrow trap. So we have 2d6 again. So I have my 2d6 here for the situation. And he's going to use dexterity, which is a d6, obviously, to escape from arrows coming at him. And he's going to use... I feel like I can use his War Master ability because he's been in wars. He knows how to deal with like attacks coming at him, and I feel like that fits. So these two, which is good for him because it's a super high die. But let's hope it doesn't roll bad. Okay, so we got a 8, 5 and 1, 8 and 5. So yeah, he wins. I'm going to say that he didn't see the trap, but he managed to not get, he managed to, with his dexterity and his mastery in combat, he managed to not be in the range of the arrow, and he just escaped from it. That's what I'm going to say happened here. So he then cautiously moved forward, and we can advance d6 again from the 15 that we are now. 1. Oh my gosh, we are moving so slowly now. Quiet. Too quiet. Oh, this is fun. I'm liking this game actually. Okay, so it's another d6. So I have 2d6 again for the situation, 15 and 16. And too quiet. I'm going to say he's using his elf sense again to try to make up what's going on here. It's too quiet. I was following some footsteps, some noise, but now I can't see or hear anything. It's too quiet here. So I'm going to say the elf sense comes in play here. And again, I have to use his holy symbol, which is kind of a holy sense to me in this case. It's the only thing I can think about. So I got, oops, this is a D100. This is a D10. Okay, so this is what I'm going to roll. I know it seems like it's going too well for him in terms of the dice he's using, but it's just, I'm just going off of what is here. I swear I'm not cheating. Okay, so he got a 4, a 1, a 1, and a 3. Okay, so the situation actually got a higher number here, and it's too quiet. For the sake of the story, he lost here, and for the sake of the story, I'm not going to re-roll anything here. I'm going to say that, oh, but for combat I have to step into combat here somehow. I cannot just pretend there was a combat or something someone saw him. Oh, but I don't have to engage in combat. I'm going to keep his loss. He lost, but I'm going to say, for the sake of the story, since he was hearing some footsteps and now it was all quiet, he just suddenly he sees one cultist, one robed cultist, which he assumes is the one he was following, notice him, and then he sees he's showing up like in one of the doors on that place that he's in, like right in front of him or something like that. And he lost, so he loses resolve. So it was a 4 and a 3, so he loses 1 resolve, which he comes here to 17. Let's mark it down so I don't forget. Sometimes I forget to mark things and then everything gets mixed up. Okay, so the cultist is there in front of him. They don't necessarily need to engage in combat. But let's move forward and see what happens in the next scene. I'm going to roll a 3. So I was in 16, 1, 2, 3. Oh, there it is. Combat with guard dogs. That makes sense. But how many guard dogs? I'm going to say that it's going to be 5 guard dogs, and each guard dog has like 1 threat to it. So I have to like get rid of all of them. So we have here a D8 and oh no, here a D8 for the guard dogs and a D6 for the quiet to quiet. So it's going to be these 2 for the situation, and for him I'm going for... Okay, so I have War Master, Ancestral Sword, and the Armor. The Armor is a good defense, and I don't want to like be to force too much the situation that I use like the 2 highest. I feel like I want to use the Armor, which is a D8, just because he's trying to defend himself in battle as well. I could very well use this too. Don't you agree? Ancestral Sword to like fight, and his War Master ability to manage the situation. I could, but I'm not going to use War Master. I think it's going to be forcing too much the situation. I'm going to use his Armor as a defense because I think that fits, and it's a way of me not thinking that I'm cheating. And we have I feel like the Ancestral Sword, because he's going to be fighting, and it's his weapon, so yeah. So yeah, it's still good enough for him, let's face it, you know, like a D10 and a D8 versus a D6 and a D8. If he rolls like decently and the situation doesn't roll really good, we can make it. Okay, so he got a 6 and a 7 and a 6 and a 3. So the D8, which is his armor, got a 7, which was the winning number. So he has a good defense. So I'm going to say, so these guard dogs appeared, like not appeared, but I'm going to say the cultist that was looking at him was probably aware that he was like being followed, and he was prepared. So when he showed up in front of Alvin, he had like these dogs behind him, and he just pointed at Alvin, and the dogs came charging at him, the 5 dogs. And in combat, what does he say about combat? I subtract to reduce the threat, isn't it? When you roll higher than your enemy, remove threat equal to your high roll minus its right roll. So it was my 7 minus his 6. He got a 6. Here I have it. So I rolled a 7 and he rolled a 6. So we subtract that, I get 1. So I'm going to say that he had a good defense against the other dogs that came charging at him, and with his sword he actually managed to slay one of the dogs. So we have 4 now. And the combat continues, so I keep rolling for it. Keep rolling until you have reduced enemies to 0 lives. Okay, so I keep rolling the same dice. Oh my gosh, my dice all came up all over the place. That's okay. Okay, so I re-roll the same dice and hope to win again. Okay, so we have for the situation a 6 and a 1, and for Alvin an 8 and a 3. So he wins again, and the difference is going to be 2. Okay, 8. See, 8 and a 6. So the difference is going to be 2. So with another swing of his sword, he actually manages to get 2 of the dogs at the same time. He like swings back and get one that is coming to his side, and then on the swing forward he gets the other one. So we reduced it by 3, so we have now 2 dogs still charging at him, and we can roll again. And we have a tie now, 8-8. So we discarded the other 2 dice that didn't tie together, and we re-roll those 2. So we have a 7 for Alvin and a 3 for the situation. So Alvin wins. This is a 7. Okay, 7. Some people think it's a 1. It's not a 1. The 1 is this other one here. See? 7. Okay. So he won, and he won by a lot, by 3. So yeah, he managed to take down the other 2 dogs. And yeah, he wins. He got rid of the 5 dogs, and I don't want to assume anything about the cultist that was in front of him, so I'm going to roll to advance and see how that new situation can apply to what is going on now. So I have my d6 for advancing here, and remember we are in the guard dogs, number 19. So I get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get d10, a guard ambush. Okay, so we're going to say the cultist is still there, looking furiously at Alvin, and when he see all his dogs being slain right in front of him, he just moves a little bit to the side, and we can see that behind him was a soldier, like a, what's the name here? A guard, ready to ambush him. Oh, no. Ambush. Okay, so if it's an ambush, I'm not going to say that he shows the guard. I'm going to say that the guard comes behind Alvin. So he was ambushed because he was distracted with the dogs, and now there's a guard behind him. So I have here a d10. Ooh, it's getting complicated here. So a d10, and the dogs was a d8. So we can use this the 8 and this the 10 for the situation. And for Alvin, I do think now, I swear I'm not cheating, but I do think now I can use the d12 for his War Master ability. I mean, he's a War Master. He would have noticed someone sneaking up behind him when he's fighting, I feel like. And I'm going to use his sword as well. I think that makes sense. I think I'm not cheating here. Okay, but you guys let me know if you think I'm cheating. Okay, let's see, and let's hope he rolls well. Okay, so for Alvin, we got a 9 and a 2, and the situation got a 4 and a 2, so Alvin won it. Nice. Okay, 9. Can you see there is a 9? There is a little pointing here. Yeah. Okay, so 9, and this guard ambush has a 10 threat. So he got a 9, and the highest on the other one was a 4. So subtracting, we have 5. So Alvin notices there is something behind him. There is another threat coming up. So he instantly identified that it was an ambush, and with his sword, right after finishing the dog, he just turns around with still swinging the sword and manages to get this guard that's coming up, and he manages to give like a really good blow on that guy. Good. So the guy still have 5 in his threat count, so oh my gosh, let's roll again. Same dice. Okay, so Alvin got an 8 and a 3, and the guy got a 7 and an 8. So tied dice get rolled again. Oh my gosh, they got the highest number of the die. Nice. But Alvin won because it was a D12. He's a War Master guy. I think this makes sense. So Alvin manages to react very fast, and he gave one blow swinging his sword, and when he was swinging back he gave another blow right instantly, and it was 8 versus 12, so the difference is 4. So he reduced the soldier to a threat of 1, so he's looking bad. I'm interpreting this threat thing like a health point kind of thing, so that's why I'm saying that he is looking bad. So he's only 1 threat, which means that we can roll again. Same dice. Okay, 6 and 6 for this situation, for like that guard, and 5 and 3 for Alvin. So Alvin lost. For the sake of the story, I'm also not going to reroll this because I think it would be too much if he could like get out of every blow he got. And it was pretty close. So he's going to get like 1 less resolve point. So from 27 we turn it into 26. So his resolve is now 26. And we are going to roll again. I could have re-rolled it, but for the sake of the story, I think the bad guys have to get some blow as well, you know? Some wins as well. Let's see. Okay, this one is cocked, so I'm going to re-roll it. 8. It was almost a 12, but that's okay. So we got 8 and 6 and 9 and 4. So the guard that tried to ambush Alvin is really mad that he got really hurt right from the beginning. So he attacks again, and it's a 9 and an 8. So I'm going to say that this guy manages to get another resolve point of Alvin. And Alvin is not losing so bad. As you can see, it's 1 point at a time because of his amazing War Master ability. So this is going to be a 25. Oh my gosh. I've raised it here so much that it's not working anymore. Let me erase everything. I think I don't really have more ink on my pen actually. I'm going to put here on the side, 25. And we re-roll. While everyone is standing, we have to re-roll. So the situation got 6 and 5, and Alvin got 7 and 2. So Alvin finally reacts to all the attacks he's getting, and he manages to just finish the soldier with a piercing attack right, I'm going to say, in the ribcage. And the guard drops down. And again, I'm not going to assume anything for the cultist that was, you know, like, now it's behind Alvin because Alvin turned around for the guard that was ambushing him. So let's roll for the advance point. We are here and see if we can incorporate whatever happens to what the cultists did before assuming anything. So we go into 26. Unsettling sounds. Okay, unsettling sounds I can work with that. Let's see the plot point first, and then I tell you what is going through my mind right now with this new plot point. After some reconnaissance, I'm sorry, you discover where the cultists are going down. But the way is too heavily guarded. You must find an alternate path into the catacombs. But luckily, the ruin and the breadth of the castle practically ensures other avenues exist. Okay, so that made things a little bit more complicated because it's telling me that we discovered where the cultists are going down. Okay, no, it doesn't. Okay, so what I'm thinking is unsettling sound. I'm going to say that the cultist seeing Alvin fight, he just ran away during that fight. But Alvin knows where he was standing, so he follows that path, and that heavily guarded thing can play into the combats that he already had. But let's see if we get any more combats here for it. What I'm going to say though for this point is that he starts hearing singing. He followed the path of that cultist that was trying to escape, thinking that Alvin was going to get like finished by the guard ambushing him, and he hears singing, which right now I'm imagining could be the cultist singing sound, but I'm not going to specify here because we can change it in the next plot points and things that come up. So I'm going to say that he hears a weird sound as he goes down the path that he saw that cultist escaping to, and maybe the sound could be a different thing than the cultist singing, but he hears a weird, unusual sound, almost like could be a singing or just a growling, or it's weird. He doesn't know what it is. So we have a D6 for this one, D6 here, and the last one we had a D10. So let me get the D10 back. There it is. This is for the situation. And for this one, I'm going to say that Alvin is using also a D10 and a D6. The D6 is for the elf, his elf ancestry, his elf like senses, to follow those things that he's hearing and all. And the D10 is for his holy symbol that he's clutching and to get some guidance and whatnot. Okay, so let's roll again and see how that situation goes based on the results. Okay, so I got 5 and 5 for the situation, and I got 10 and 2 for Alvin, so a 10 wins. Alvin got a 10, which is a perfect score on the die. So I'm going to say that in it was the holy symbol, that I'm going to say that his deity, his faith, brought him some clarity and guided him on the right path to, I'm not going to say guided to the sound, I'm going to say guided following the sound to whatever our advanced die tells us that happened. So let's advance a little bit more. It's 5. So 5 from here, the 26 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sudden dead end. Oh, this might be interesting. Could be like a secret passage that he doesn't know about. But yeah, okay, so he was guided and he was super clear that he was going the right direction, but then he found a dead end. There are no doors, there are no windows, there seems to be nothing in here, really. Let's roll. Again, we have like a dead end. Where is it? Here. It's a D8. And the last one was a d6. So this is for the situation. And for Alvin, I'm going again with his elf sense, which is a d6. And I'm going again with his holy symbol to get some clarity, to get some guidance from his faith or his deity or whatever it is he believes in. So let's see if he finds something there or if he just gets stuck on the dead end. He probably finds something. So the situation got a 1 and a 1 and he got a 2 and a 5. So I'm going to say that he starts investigating, and then before saying what happens, I'm going to roll the next advance, because the next advance point is probably going to tell us where or what he can find based on the situation. So let's advance to 3 more. So we were here. 1, 2, 3 gets us in a stone staircase. Perfect. So I'm going to say that he found a secret passage. So it was a dead end in a huge stone wall, and he started investigating and found a stone that he could like press, and it opened a secret passage that led to this staircase, this stone staircase, and he decided to go on it. And so the staircase is a d6 and the dead end is a d8. So we keep the 2 same dice that we had before for the situation. And for Alvin, I still feel like keeping the same thing, the elf sense with the d6 and the holy symbol, the holy guidance with the d10. So let's roll. And we got for the situation a 2 and a 3, and for Alvin a 4 and a 3. So he wins against the highest of the situation. So he's been guided. He knows the way because his deity, his faith, his holy symbol is giving him the clarity of how to go on forward. So he goes on, and for storytelling's sake, for the sake of this story, I'm going to say that this guidance helped him not fall into any trap on that staircase, so he knows exactly where to step to not activate anything. Good, let's advance again for the next plot point. It's a 2, so we were in the stone staircase, so 1, 2 gets here, a hidden passage. So I'm going to say that all this guidance that he got finally got him into another loose stone in the wall around the staircase that he could press and find another hidden passage right in the middle of the staircase. So he found it. So that's what happened. And again, same thing, same dice for the same reasons as I said before. So let's roll. And this time he won again. Yes, a 6. Can you see the little dot on the 6 here? And so he kept going in this new passage. Let's advance again to see if he finds something interesting or whatever. 2. So hidden passage. Oh no, it was correct. Yes, it was a d8 for the hidden passage and a d6 for the stone case. Yeah, okay, that was correct. So 1, 2 comes here, a crypt fiend. Okay, so we have now a d8 and a d10. So let me get a d10 here. Okay, for the situation. And for Alvin, it's a combat, so he has to use one of his combat traits. Again, War Master, Ancestral Sword, or Armor. In this case, since he was being guided, I'm really I swear to you, I'm really trying to not cheat on this game. But since he's been guided, I feel like the War Master fits in here. 'Cause, like, his sense aligned with his holy, like, things. It would be a good trait, but since it's a combat, I'm going to use War Master and Ancestral Sword. I'm sorry, it's what makes sense in my head right now. I swear I'm not trying to cheat here. So it's a D10 and a D12 versus a D8 and a D10. So combat ensues and Alvin wins. There is an 8 versus a 5. Okay, so this fiend is a 6. So 8 versus 5 has a 3. So he senses right when he's going to this new hidden passage, he senses danger and he gets his sword, and which is actually the one that got the higher number, and he manages to get a good blow at it, good swing, and he reduces the fiend to a 3 threat. And we can roll again to keep fighting. So we got 8 and 5 for the situation, and 6 and 1 for Alvin. So Alvin gets hurt this time. And again, for the sake of this story, I'm not going to reroll because I think the bad guys should get some attacks right at some points. And I want to save his stamina and resolve. So I'm going to say that the guy manages to get 2 on the attack. So Alvin reduces to 23. Okay, so his resolve is 23, and we keep fighting the things. Okay, we got a 10, so we won. 100% won. Like a 10 versus a 6. So it's a 4. So he slays the fiend with another swing of his sword. After being hurt, he just finishes the monster with another attack. Great. So he won this one. And oh, there's one thing I forgot here. Each enemy we defeat, we get treasure. So I'm going to say it's 1 gem. So I was not counting. How many did we get through, guys? We get the... Did we get anything here? We didn't. We got here the dogs, 1 gem, the guard, 2 gems, and now the fiend, 3 gems. So I'm going to update this here. Hope I didn't forget anything. So 3 gems as treasure. Good. So we finished this fiend and we were in the hidden passage. So let's roll again for advancing. 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we go to the other side. This was a D10. I'm already going to separate my D10 for this situation. And 6 is this one, D8. So it's a D8 and a D10. And we get a library. Let's see the plot point on this one. You successfully make your way down into the catacombs, always silent except the distant sound of ominous chanting. This, combined with the pungent smell of incense, convinces you that there are profane rituals being conducted in this place. So we have the situation lights. I already separated them. And he got into a library, and he, according to the plot point, is still hearing those sounds that we heard before. Remember? Right back there. So he's in the library. For this one, I'm going back to his elf sense, which is a D4, and his holy symbol with a D10. Again, for guidance. The holy symbol for me in this game is being pure guidance from his deity and his patron or matron, I don't know. So he got a 2 and a 1, and the situation got a 4 and a 4. So what I'm going to say here, so he failed. I could re-roll that, couldn't I? I think I'm going to re-roll that. It's a mechanic that I have and I can do it. So I'm going to change 2 stamina points actually. I'm going to go down to 12 and I'm going to re-roll my 2 dice. So we got an 8 and a 6, and I had a 4 and a 4, remember? Okay, 4 and 4. So yeah, he wins on this challenge, and I'm going to say that he finds something in the library. He actually gets more information or something, which the next row is what's going to tell us what it is. So let's see, advance to 5 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dead adventurer, and I get 1 treasure. Oh, I got 1 treasure here in the library as well. Let me mark it down so I don't forget it. I'm actually going to change the way I mark this treasure. Instead of putting numbers, I'm going to mark. Okay, so I got 1 for the library, 4, and the dead adventurer. I'm going to do a contest to see if I get the gem. This is not in the rules, by the way, about getting the gem if I get a success, but I think it's implicit in my opinion. So what are the dice I use? The D8 and the D8. So I need 2 D8s. So I'm going to get this other one for the situation. Okay, the dark one is for the situation. And for Alvin, I'm going to get his holy symbol again. Yeah, because I think it's a good investigation trait here, because he's being guided by his patron or matron. I'm going to say he's a matron actually. He's being guided for his by his matron, and I am going to use his elf sense. Yeah, it's what makes sense here on these investigation things. And we got for the situation an 8 and a 2 and a 4 and a 1. Do I want to re-roll it and risk losing? Because this guy rolled an 8. Can you see the 8? Yeah. So I think I'm going to just take the loss in this one. I think he found the dead adventurer, but he didn't find the gem. The gem was there, but he didn't look very well. His investigation was not very thorough, and he didn't even find any more information, but he assumes this guy was here before him to investigate, as probably others were as well, and he just didn't manage to get past this point. But he gets less 4 to his resolve. Okay, you know what? I'm going to actually reroll because I don't want to take 4 from my resolve right now. So I'd rather take 1 from my stamina, reroll, and get the possibility of at least reduce this amount of damage that I get from my resolve. Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to reroll this one, my rolly symbol, which is a 4 again. So I don't get anything extra, so I have to take out exactly the amount I had the day before. Yeah, sometimes you don't get it. So from 23 we get to 19. I'm going to put here on this side 19. Okay, 19. And let's do the advance again that we have in this list. So it's a d6 to get from the dead adventurer to something different, which is a 2. So you can mark 2 there. And from the dead adventurer, what is it here? We get to a scent of blood, which makes sense if we have a dead adventurer there and we scent blood. It can be the blood of the adventurer, but I'm thinking that this blood can lead us to something else, something different, something extra. Let's roll our contest here. So we have the d8 and the d8 again, so the exact same dice we had before. And for Alvin, I'm also going to use the exact same dice, the d10 for the holy symbol that's guiding him, and the d6 for his elfic senses, and see if he finds out something about it. I have for Alvin a 9 versus a 6 from the situation. You see 6 on the d8. So yes, Alvin wins. So I'm going to say that he identifies the smell of blood, and that leads him to the next step that we are going to roll to advance and find out what it is. I'm not assuming anything because once I roll my advanced dice, that can change completely. So I have to just change what I planned before. So we're going to see what he found out in the next step. So it's another 2, which comes here to guards watching approach. Okay, so we can interpret this as the guards are watching him approach, or that he see some guards that are like on their watch, like making their watch, like investigating. They are approaching, but they don't see Alvin. Since he won last time, I'm going to say that's what happens, that he sees these guards approaching, so he is ready for the combat because he sensed it. So the guards are d8, so we keep the 2 d8s for the situation, but for Alvin we have to change. What do I put on him? We again combat traits: War Master, Ancestral Sword. The Ancestral Sword has to come because it's the weapon he used to fight. But do we use the War Master, or do we use something else? I'm not sure. Armor or Ancestral or War Master or Armor? D8 or D12? I feel like D12, man. I use the armor on the dogs more for defense, but it's a fight. His War Master sense has to make some difference in here. So I'm going to use the D12. What the heck? Yeah. So let's see. And see, I rolled 1 on it. And a 10 on the sword. The sword is really good, man. So yeah, so it's a 10 and they rolled 4. So it's a 6. And the guards approaching are 8. So I'm going to say there are 4 guards. Each guard has 2 threats. And I managed to get 3 of them down, like in one blow. There were like 3 in the front row coming, and he just with one swing of the sword, in one attack, he slayed the truth of the three of them. And there's one left that was behind the other three, which is another roll for us. So we got here for Alvin a 1 and a 3 and a 4 and a 8 for the soldier. For the sake of this story, I'm going to say that the soldier, the guard, actually a guard, managed to get one attack right to Alvin because he was distracted with the tree that he was cutting the throats of, which means that I go down to 18 on my resolve. Is it 18? No, it's not 18. Oh, I was getting just one off. I'm sorry, I was just... He actually gets from 8 to 3, it's 5. He gets 5 of resolve. You know what? I'm going to get my stamina to 10 and re-roll because I don't want to lose all that. I end up losing a lot more. 6. Oh, that was not good. That was not good at all. So we come into 13 for our resolve. 13. Okay, that's fine. We can manage that. And let's roll again. And let's hope Alvin finishes this guy. Okay, so Alvin got a 9 versus an 8. Okay, so yeah, Alvin won and he reduced these guys to 1. Oh, I don't have to put anything here. So we have to roll again and hope Alvin finishes this guy this time. He has still one threat. This one is cocked, so I re-roll it. Ooh, it's an 11. Yeah, he definitely finished this guy now. So he managed to slay all the 4 guards that were there, and he keeps going to the next situation with a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. D10 gold in a coffer. Okay, so this is a D8 and a D10. So we have a D8 and a D10 for the situation, and we're going to see if Alvin manages to get this D10 gold and the gem. I'm actually not going to consider... Yeah, I'm going to consider a gem. I'm going to consider that the D10 gold values 1 gem so that I can mark here on my treasure. Because I'm marking in terms of gem up to this point. And for Alvin, I'm going to use his elf sense. It's the best I can do for like these things. And I'm going to use his holy symbol. Can I justify using a holy symbol for that? Let me think. Can I justify finding these golds? Yeah, I think it for like, because I'm using the holy symbol like as an investigation kind of thing, as a guidance kind of thing, so I'm going to use that. I got a 10 versus a 9, so yes, Alvin wins and he manages to open the drawer and find this gem. So I'm going to mark here, so he have 5 now. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next situation. It's a 6. So we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let me save the dice. So it's a D6 and a D10. That was the last one. Good. Okay, so I have the situation dice without problem now. And we get to another plot point. Let's see what it says. You arrive at the summoning chamber to find a mass of cultists chanting. You watch in horror as the ritual cause ripples in the fabric of space, and something pushes out of that nothingness. So there's like a summoning of a demon coming out of some type of portal, which is good because we were up to this point hearing the cultist singing, the noise that was so unsettling. And now, so we are watching from the shadows. So I'm going to say that it's to see if he was noticed or not, if he kept hiding or not. So let's roll for that. And again, holy symbol as protection and guidance, and the elf sense as we consider this D6 either the elf sense or the dexterity as a stealth kind of ability, which are the same dice. So whatever you want to consider is going to be the same dice. So let's keep going. Ooh, the cultist got a 9 and a 1, and he got a 4 and a 4. What I'm going to do though is change my stamina. I'm going to get down. I want to reroll this. I'm going to get down to 8 actually, from 10 to 8, because I want to reroll my D10 and his D10 to try to get a better outcome. Yeah, I got. Ooh, he got a 3 and I got a 4. So Alvin keeps hidden. They don't see. He's just watching from the shadows. And the next, it's 1. Arcane writing on the walls. So he finds some arcane writing on the walls, and now I have 2d6 for this situation. I'm going to separate them there. I'm going to use the holy symbol again because I'm going to try to see if he can interpret that writing to something that he can do to stop all of that. And again, elf sense, because I'm going to use like the elf as a knowledge kind of thing, information kind of thing, is history, that he can interpret that writing on the wall. Great, let's roll. He got a 4 versus a 2, so yeah, he can interpret whatever is on that wall. And I'm going to roll the d6 for the next scene to see if we can get more information on what he interprets. 4, so we were here, 1, 2, 3, 4, the Ebon Warden, so it's a monster. And I am inclined to say that this is the thing. No, I'm not going to say that this is the thing that's been summoned. I'm going to say that it's something that manages to see him when he was doing a watch. Because a warden can be like a soldier kind of thing, right? Doesn't it? Isn't it? Let me check. Yeah, it's kind of a monster thing. So I'm going to say this thing was guarding the area and circulating, and in one of its watch around the area where Alvin was hidden, it saw Alvin in a combat in shoes. So for this case, we have a D12. Oh my god, this guy has a D12 and a D6 versus the arcane writing. And for Alvin, I'm going to use the D10 and the D12, which is the War Master ability and his ancestral swords. So we roll, and oh no, this guy got a 12 and Alvin got a 3. I'm not sure I should re-roll that, because I got a 9 here, so I don't get a lot of points off. But you know what? What the heck? I'm going to re-roll that, because I cannot get anything worse than 12, right? So my stamina goes down to 7, and I reroll the 12 into an 8, which actually manages for Alvin to get a blow and get 1 point off of this guy, so he is down to 11. We roll again, and Alvin gets a 10 versus gets a 9, I'm sorry, 9 versus a 3 of the monster, which is a 6, so it was an 11, now it is at a 5. Let's roll again. This guy got a 9 and Alvin got a 7, so for the sake of the story I'm going to say that Alvin got 2 less for the resolve, so from 13 we get to 11 on the resolve, and we roll again. Come on, Alvin, finish this beast. Okay, I got a 12 versus a 3, so that is a 9, and it finishes the thing. So the monster was finished, he won, and let's roll for the next one. 3. So from here we go 1, 2, 3. Necromancy. Ooh, okay, so it's a d10, so we have a d12 and a d10 to roll. D12 and d10 for this situation. What I'm going to say is that these cultists are bringing something that is undead, and Alvin has the chance to interfere on it, and now he's going to try to interfere on it. Other way to looking at it is that the monster that he just fought could come back, but then that would mean another combat, and we don't have a combat here. So by the way the mechanics of the game work, I would have to just go back here, and that doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to put here his holy symbol, which is a d10, and I'm going to use, what do I use for this one? His dexterity. You know what? I think I'm going to use a d6, and I'm going to use a rope, which is the d6 as well. It could be the dexterity, it could be the elf as well, but for storytelling, I'm going to say that he tried to use his rope to take one of the cultists out of that ritual to interfere on how things are going, and hopefully not let all of that happen. Okay, Alvin got a 6 and a 2, and they got a 7 and a 3. So he fails, and he gets 1 less to his resolve, which come down to 10 now. And we move forward with another point. So he couldn't one more minion. So seeing that the cultists just set off some minions, and we have 3 here, look, 8, 5, and 5. Oh my gosh, that's going to be problematic, but that's okay. Let's see what goes. So we have a d10 and a d10, so 2 d10s for the situation already here. And for Alvin, I'm going to use his War Master ability and his sword, his ancestral sword, and let's fight those minions. Okay, a 10 versus an 8, so Alvin manages to get 2 points off of some of these guys. I'm going to give this one, so this becomes a 3. Let's do it again. A 6 versus a 3, so 3 more, so he gets rid of one of these. So I can erase that. So I have 1 of 5 and 1 of 8. Let's do it again. He keeps swinging his swords, and he got an 11 versus a 9, so he got 2 off of this one, I'm saying, again, and he keeps dodging the other one. And now we got a 7 versus a 9, so he can no longer. I'm going to actually I don't have a lot of points now. Okay, so he gets 2 points less to his resolve, so he comes down to 8. Okay, good. And keep fighting. I'm going to say that this time the one that he was not directly engaged with, he could not dodge because he was taking care of another monster, and then that guy just gave him a blow and attack. And now we have a 7 and a 7, so we re-roll those 2, and a 4 and a 1, so 3. He manages to finish this other guy, so there's just this one of 8. Let's do it again. He doesn't get it. It's 5 versus 2. I'm going to get rid of 1 stamina point and go down to 6 to re-roll my d12 into a 12. Yeah, so yes, 5 to 12 is a 7. He almost finishes this guy. There's just 1 more point. So let's roll again. He got an 8 versus a 4. Yes, he finished the minions. Great. And then he advances to 1 more. Oh my god. A ritual knife. So he finds a ritual knife. It's a d8 for the knife. So d8 versus the d10 for the minions, which means that this is the situation and he just has to pick it up. I'm going to say that his War Master ability allows him to deal with any weapon that he faces, so I'm giving him the War Master dice, and I'm going to give him the dexterity dice for like managing a weapon, because I think that makes sense. And he's going to try to get this knife, and he doesn't get, but I want to get rid of this, so I do that? Not sure. Do I pick up one of my points to make it reroll? I'm not gonna. I'm just going to say that he doesn't get this ritual knife and the gem here. So let's just advance 2. So he comes here to a bloody altar. So he tries to approach the bloody altar. I'm going to say that's what he's trying to do. So we get a d10 and a d8, the same ones that we have before. And I'm going to give him the d10 for his holy symbol, because I think it fits the situation. And I'm going to use, you know what, I'm going to use the d8 for the key runes as a way of getting him more energy to go and do that thing. Okay, let's try it. I got a 5 versus a 9. So he can't approach the bloody altar where they're doing the summoning, and the cultists are like focusing there, and there's a dark energy that doesn't allow Alvin to approach the altar. So let's moving forward. It's a 5, so 1, 2, 3, 5, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5. Yes. Fanatics with knives. Okay, so it's a d10 and 2 d10s actually. Okay, so these d10 and these d10 for the situation, and I'm going to War Master, and I'm going for an Ancestral Sword as well. And let's fight it's a 8. I have to beat an 8. So, oh no, they got a 10 and I got a 9. You know what? I'm going to get rid of another stamina point because I cannot get anything higher than 10, so I'm going to reroll there. And it's a 9, so it's a tie, so I can reroll those two. And I got one of them. So where is it here? So they are at 7. I reroll the same dice, and I got a 9. Alvin got a 9 versus a 6. So it's 3. So a total of 4 with the last point. So he's reduced to 4, and another sword swing. I got a 5. Alvin got a 5 versus a 4 of them, and that means one more, so it's 3 in points to get rid of. Now another sword swing, and they got a 6 versus a 4 for Alvin. I'm actually going to get another. Oh my god, I'm losing all the stamina points, and I'm going to reroll my d12. And I rolled worse. Okay, so he gets 2 less to his resolves, and he's back at 6 for resolve. Let's roll again, because the monster is still up with 3 points. Okay, a 12 versus a 7. It's a 5. He won. He finished that guy, and he tries to... Oh my gosh, the dice went off limits, but it's a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jester Skull, so another combat. So the cultists are just sending a lot of monsters towards him. So that's a d12 plus a d10 that we already have. So we have a d10 here, and we have the d12 here, and the same thing for Alvin, War Master and Ancestral Sword. And in the end, we get 10 and 9, 12 and 4. So 12 and 10, it's a 2 difference. So for these guys here, we get back them down to 4 with a sword swing. And then again, they got an 8 versus a 4. I'm not letting them hurt. I'm going back down to 3 on my stamina, and I'm going to re-roll my d12. And I got a 1. Yeah. So this was an 8 before, right? So I'm going to re-roll again. I don't care. I have to finish this guy. I'm going to reroll his 3, and this was a 4. So yes, Alvin managed to get another slice of them. So 1 less. I forgot where I was. Oh my gosh. I was back at 4, was it? I'm going to say it's 4, so I'm back at 3. This one is cocked, so I can re-roll it. It's a 4. Yeah, Alvin loses again. I'm going to get another of my stamina points. I only have 1 left now, and I'm going to... Was 5 and 6, right? Yes. I'm going to re-roll my d12. And it's an 8. Oh, thanks. So 2 less. So this guy has 1 more point to get rid of. And we got a 7 versus a 5. Yes, I got rid of it. Woo! That is getting tense. I only have 1 more stamina point, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's roll. Oh, we didn't see the plot point, right? Let's see. Try as you might, you fail to prevent the summoning. Rising out of the arcane circle, bursting forth into this world, comes a terrifying visage from the realm of hell. Lose a point of stamina for seeing the horror. My stamina is at the limit. Oh my god. Okay, so, but I won against these guys, And 5, I pass through. Your combat powers put an end to the foul evil that the cut is called up. Lest they flee when they see their gods struck down by a mere mortal, lest you turn your blade upon them. You sigh. There is a long task ahead of you to find and destroy the cult itself, but at least for now, the barrier protecting the world from the fires of hell is restored. At least for now. Your turn to make your way back to town. Same ale sound good. Oh, but I didn't get to. I finished the minions, and I finished this guy here, and I get 2 other treasure that I didn't mark. And in the win, what's the rolls here? So we finish, and I got 1 stamina point left and 6 resolve. Winning the game means your treasure to see your score. If you lose, if you run out of resolve before you win. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I won on the limit of things, basically. But Alvin, I'm going to say that Alvin, after we went into this plot point, I'm going to say that this Jester of Skulls was the materialization of the cultist gods, undead, because we saw necromancy in here before, coming back to life, and Alvin manages to slay that thing, which prevented the ritual from being completely successful and bringing that demon back to life. So, as it said in the end here, the cultists fled, and Alvin has still, or someone else in the city, has still got to find those cultists and finish them before they try to do it again. But for now, it's all set. Oh, that was fun. I liked it. But what I'm thinking about this right now is that I can do another session in the same adventure using the same lists, because we can try to get rid of the cultists. But then the second one we can interpret like as a different setting, or a different castle, or a different place. And instead of the ending being they flee, we can just like finish the cultists. So we can use the same things, just adapt little things to give a final end to the story, maybe. I don't know. But it was pretty good. I liked it. And now that I played it and understood how the game works, I am actually quite excited to play the other adventures that are available. I'm curious to see, what do you guys think about this? What did you think about this game, of what we did? One thing I'm going to say is that my choice of traits here was good but not perfect, because I kind of managed to use like the rope and the cure wounds at some point. Like I kind of tried to push them there, but they were not really useful, which I think might happen. It's a problem of the unpredictability of those mechanics, but I think it was fine in the end. It was really good. Well, that's it. I'm happy I played again after a long time, and thank you for everyone that was watching. And let me see how I finish this live, because I have no idea how to do it.